One of my major misgivings about climate science has always been that it's based on incomplete evidence, and in particular, the evidence that's missing is the data from the sun's corona. We don't know, for instance, whether or not climate change is being caused by clouds of interstellar gas, dust, and rock burning up on the sun's corona, releasing energy in the direction of Earth, and that moving through areas of particularly high density, high concentration of gas, dust, rock, etc., that could be causing global warming on Earth, since if there's more particles there crashing into the sun's corona, it'll release more energy, and it could periodically make the planet warmer or colder if we're moving through areas of high concentration of interstellar gas, dust, and rock. So this hasn't been accounted for in the data at all. We haven't yet devised very effective means of measuring the temperature of the sun's corona, and in particular, we don't have any means of measuring chain fluctuations or changes in the temperature of the sun's corona. So what we do have is very good satellite readings for the surface of the sun, which is the photosphere of the sun. The photosphere of the sun doesn't get much hotter than about 5,700 degrees Kelvin, and it stays pretty constant, it stays pretty level, apart from changes at the solar maximum and solar minimum when there's particularly high concentrations of sunspots. And we've been working out the temperature of the surface of the sun since the time of Galileo, and it reflects that it's pretty constant, the amount of radiation emitted from the sun's surface. But the corona gets up to about 3 million degrees Kelvin, I think, at its hottest, or it's a range between about 500,000 Kelvin and 1.5 million Kelvin. So it's this area around the sun, this atmosphere of the sun, if you like, which gets incredibly, incredibly hot. And we've only made inroads into the coronal heating problem, I think, last year in 2023, when they devised, researchers at the Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium, they developed means of explaining why the sun's corona is so hot using Alfvén waves, and it's like the twanging of magnetic field lines in the sun, and that was their big idea for why the sun's corona is so hot compared to the surface of the sun. But yeah, this is just one area in which climate science is incomplete. It seems very likely to me that if the sun is travelling around the galaxy, it'll be accreting gas, dust, and rock. It'll be moving through areas of higher concentration of gas, dust, and rock. It'll be moving through areas of lower concentration of gas, dust, and rock. And that material will be burning up on the sun's corona before it ever reaches the surface of the sun. So it'll make no difference to the sun's surface temperature, but it will nonetheless be burning up on the corona of the sun, and very likely changing the temperature on Earth slightly, if indeed the temperature on Earth is changing at all, and it's not just the propagation of error between different climate models. And that's another problem with it as well, and all this stuff gets suppressed, unfortunately, even when it's legitimate research that comes from proper scientists and not people like myself without a PhD. And even when it comes from Nobel laureates, people treat it sniffily, and likes of John Clauser, who bravely stood up and said there's deep problems with climate science models. All that gets suppressed and hushed away, unfortunately, and this video probably will as well, since it doesn't toe the line, doesn't go down the traditional route of accepting climate change and spreading doom, gloom, and misinformation really about climate science and how complete climate science is. There might be a consensus in the scientific community about climate change, but then again, there's a lot of people in the scientific community who are worried about not, securing research funding and securing their jobs and all these sorts of things, worried about getting ostracized by the community and that stuff as well that also goes on. But yeah, if you take nothing else from this video, take this. It's very likely that changes in Earth's temperature are caused by interstellar gas, dust, and rock burning up on the sun's corona, and we have no way at all of measuring this yet. We have no way of figuring out what the fluctuations in the sun's corona's temperatures are yet. So we by no means have a consensus, a basis for a consensus on man-made climate change. Thank you very much for watching. Love you, love. Bye.